Welcome everybody back to Boost in Motion, guys, and you saw the title. We got some new parts coming to the VR30 community, and I just want to be the guy to display it to you guys. But before I get into the video, guys know what to do. If you watch all my videos, always hit the like button. If I have 800 views, that means I should have 800 likes. But otherwise than that, guys, let's get into the video. Alright everybody, so let me just break it down a little bit. You saw some of the process on how this stuff is manufactured. Let me give you a little bit of backstory. The VR30 platform, pretty much the engine itself, most older turbo cars come with an exhaust manifold, right? And usually the exhaust manifold have different ports and it goes into the turbo. A lot of the new turbo cars now have the turbos necessarily built into the block itself. Pretty much there's really no exhaust manifold. Pretty much from the exhaust ports, it all collects within a collector still on the block, and it has one single port with all the exhaust that comes out. Now, these newer turbos, or turbos that are on these vehicles now, pretty much have the exhaust manifold built in on the turbo, and they just bolt it up there. So there's really no exhaust manifold. So that's what makes it so hard for newer cars to be able to add in separate and bigger turbos, because there's really no way to manufacture this, especially because most of these manufacturers developed this so they could fit these turbos into the engine bay, pretty much manufacturing costs. But shout out to RGM. They in a few Q50 Q60 groups, and it seemed like they're working on a lot of different stuff for the VR30 community that is very interesting, especially these exhaust manifolds. Now the best part about it is this is necessarily you can be able to bolt up different turbos to these exhaust manifolds, but I'd rather just read what Mike exactly said to me so I can share it with you guys. Alright, so he said this is some of the bullet points. The turbo kit will compose of multiple materials, 6061 T6 for all accessory bits. The manifolds currently are scheduled to be 304 SS. I'll talk a little bit more about 304 SS later. This will likely be ceramic coated as an option. Two, there are currently two turbos scheduled to fit this specific kit. The first one will be a Garrett 225-550 and a Garrett 225-660. Now 3, pricing is still yet to be determined. However, I'll be looking to keep this affordable as possible, including offering supplying your own turbo option for the budget minded. So it's pretty much you could probably buy his hardware and pretty much the exhaust manifold you need, but you can just service the turbos yourself. I will do a pre-order, which will be a batch order, then I will stock enough for a few kits. We will be carrying of any inventory pretty much minimum. They probably sounds like it's made to order, which makes sense. But at the end of the day, they'll keep a few in hand. I don't really see this shooting off the shelves because there's going to be a few other things you have to deal with when you come to the tuning about these cars. But finally, I have a lot of items on the list, including port injection tube, which should follow the kit pretty closely. So that's pretty much what Mike sent me in an email, and shout out to Mike. Thank you for giving me that information. Now some of you guys are probably excited about this because this is great. That means we can go with a completely separate turbo. I don't really know so much about these specific turbos, the GT25 turbos, but if you guys are watching, you probably already know, probably are ecstatic about it. But to move forward with this could be a really great option, but I'm still a little bit wary on, he said the fitment. These guys are taking the idea of putting the fitment and making sure it fits in the engine bay. These guys are doing the R&D, shout out to them. But in my mind, here's the questionable part. Can this platform itself, the motor and the transmission, handle these turbos? Most of you guys are gonna jump in and say yes, because we have pure turbos, we have RT turbos, they're pushing 550, 600 pounds of torque. But hear me out, all right? If you guys ever notice and look at the dyno graphs for these cars, usually the torque drops down at the higher RPM. If you guys want to know, torque is what really kills motors and transmissions. Let's be honest. It's not horsepower, it's the amount of torque. The higher amount of torque burns out clutch packs in the transmission, and the higher amount of torque bends rods and pretty much burns up bearings. Well, also on top of that, the oil is pretty crappy oil or whatever, or it depends on the bearings material. But anyway, moving forward, you guys know what I'm talking about. So knowing that when you go with more efficient turbos that can push higher volumes of pretty much air or boost. You might not have to run high boost here, but because there's so much more volume of air, that means, guess what? At the higher RPM, the torque isn't going to be as low anymore. It's going to be a lot higher. You might be able to hold torque all the way up to a higher RPM. Now that's why I really believe that's questionable. Hear me out. If you look at like a Hellcat's dyno, right? Their foot-pounds of torque is still really high at the higher RPM, so that motor could definitely take a beating. But with our cars, because it goes down so low at the higher RPM, we don't really know if it can handle that amount of torque at the higher RPM. But at the end of the day, I'm really excited to see that there's a company out there who's definitely working on making different unique products for the VR30 community, and also giving people who want to go maybe a full race build. In this case, if you're going to build a VR30 or pretty much build this platform, this may be a great option for you rather than dealing with pure turbos and or RT tuning, when you want to maybe just shoot for 700-800 wheel horsepower, maybe more than that. But that's all comes up to, guess what? These are one of the guys who make the products for it. But otherwise than that, guys, definitely check out RGM links below. I'll put their IG and maybe their website and everything below. I believe Mike also told me that they may be changing the name of the company in the upcoming future. So if they do, hopefully you guys update me. But otherwise than that, guys, if you enjoyed this video, if you enjoy these products, if you enjoy me always just trying to show love to other companies out there and display to you guys know what to do. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe with the bell notification all. And also on top of that, if you want to support me and support the channel, definitely go buy my merch, Teespring account below. And on top of that, finally, I gotta shout it out. If you guys want to buy me a shot or drink, I'm not trying to solicit here, but you can send me, I have a Cash App at #boostinmotion. All that stuff is below in the comments or the bio. But otherwise than that, guys, contact me at boostinmotion on IG and Facebook, and boostinmotion on gmail.com. You guys have a good morning, good afternoon, good night. Thank you guys. You have a good day.